This program is about drug-induced comas. Whenever possible, the victims and their family members have refused in participating in recreating these events. What you're about to see might be an hallucination.
The bodies of 7 young women have been discovered within a 50-mile radius. Police believe that 6 of the 7 women were abducted and taken to remote wooded areas where they were murdered. All of the victims suffered similar stab wounds, and police began to suspect that the killings were the work of the same individual. Police estimate there may be as many as 100 serial killers living among us. They are cool and calculating, choosing victims indiscriminately with little or no remorse for their actions. The overwhelming task for authorities is to determine how the serial killer thinks and hopefully learn where and when he might strike again. Words. Collections of letters. Some bearing an emotional charge, others as neutral as air. Perhaps providing a window to the inner workings of the diabolical mind. Sensitive electronic instruments show that a normal person responds faster to emotionally charged words than to words that are neutral. But psychopaths do not make this distinction. Dr. Hare believes this may help explain why psychopaths don't have a conscience.
Most people talk about conscience in terms of something like an inner voice talking to oneself. I shouldn't do that, And mommy said I shouldn't do it, I shouldn't do it. And after a while it becomes sort of automatic. We do that, we refer to that as conscience. I would say that the psychopath probably doesn't have the same sort of inner voice that most people have. It may be that the language processes or the ability of language to actually control behavior is different in a psychopath than it is in other people.
Dr. Hare's experiment is just one attempt to unravel the most vexing mystery of the diabolical mind. Are certain people born as psychopaths, or do they become psychopaths?
If I were to cast my vote in one direction or the other, I'd probably say that it's more likely that they're born, not made.
I think it's pretty clear that while people may have a inherited susceptibility to certain kinds of violent crimes, that individuals who go on to produce these kinds of abominable crimes are created. They're shaped by their families, they're shaped by their societies, they model the culture heroes in their civilization, and they go on to commit these abominable acts.
The words diabolical and psychopath bring to mind the lurid villains from horror movies. Out of control, glassy-eyed, unkempt maniacs. Real-life psychopaths bear little resemblance to these movie madmen. They hold jobs, shop for groceries, and appear no different than the rest of us, most of the time.
Only the minority of psychopaths are actually violent. There are people who are vice presidents of corporations, who step over the competition, whose backstabbing is only figurative.
One of the social dangers that psychopathic individuals perpetuate is that oftentimes, especially if they're brighter than average or perhaps very intelligent, that they can fool individuals into believing that they are quite sincere and are being quite honest. For the psychopath, the world is a smorgasbord from which he can select whatever food he wants to eat. There's no reciprocity. There's no empathy for who he victimizes. It is something that he intentionally does, and it's choices that he makes day in and day out as to who he will manipulate.
Psychopaths kill because that is the ultimate act of humiliation and dominance that shows their total power and control over another human being. It's the ultimate achievement of their psychopathic dreams.
One of the more common prevalent theories today is that there's a lack of bonding between the parent and the child in the very early years. The sociopath grows up feeling unloved, out of control. And when he grows up, he has intense need for control over other people.
So in other words, creating paranoia in a person can be oftentimes even more insidious than just making verbal threats.
It's a better gamesmanship than doing physical violence, because fear lives with you 24 hours a day. Fear never goes away. If you kill somebody, that's over.
Or attempt to kill somebody.
Yes, or if you hurt them, and as long as the pain is there, that's. But fear is a pain that lives with you forever.
A person like him can be extremely dangerous. He doesn't buy our system. He does not buy our society's rules as we establish them. And again, that's a mark of a psychopath or a sociopath, is that they make their own rules in life.
Rather than stalking a particular victim, these women themselves were pre-selected as victims, and he goes from site to site.
I just wish he could be found so it wouldn't happen to somebody else. Maybe they won't be so fortunate like I was to live.